Now, a conference like this wouldn't have been possible without the help of a number of people in a number of organizations. So the first that we'd like to thank is Shell for hosting what has been a fantastic event, making the facilities, the staff, the resources available. And to pass on our thanks, I'd like to ask Hugh Mitchell, who's the HR Director for Shell, to come forward, to accept a small token of appreciation, and maybe Hugh say a few words. So on behalf of Workplace Pride, it's a little something for the office.
Thank you very much.
And hey, thanks for making everything available.
Thank you, indeed. Yeah, in closing the event, just a few reflections on my part. I mean, first of all, I think from the Shell perspective, it's a real privilege for us to be able to host this event. Our involvement, Workplace Pride, is something we are very, very proud of as a company. And I think, you know, hopefully you've had an energizing day. And I know that in your discussions, there'll been a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, a lot of different perspectives and so on. But actually having you in the building has attracted all manner of comments. Yeah? People say, oh, who are these? And it's great because it brings energy into the organization and it brings your issue into the organization in a very wide and very visible way. And that's been, I think, really, really good. I had a few reflections over the day, some at a kind of corporate level and some a little bit at a personal level. At a corporate level, I think the thing that struck me more than anything is when you listen to what different companies are doing, most of us are all kind of doing and saying the right things. So, you know, we all have the right value statements, we have principles, we have frameworks, we have policies and so on. But I think the thing that struck me so much is that it all only comes to life when you actually have people who are directly engaging in doing things. And there was a lot of sharing of ideas, of people saying, we're trying this, we're trying that. And as an HR professional, I kind of look at these things maybe a little bit dispassionately, and I kind of say, well, that wouldn't work because of this, and that wouldn't work because of that, and so on. And I bet you would say, no, you have to step back from that and just say, don't see all the difficulties and the challenges, but actually, if you like, draw on the energy from the people who are saying, well, it worked for us, and therefore try and understand and explore and inquire what that is. The personal reflection was, so I was at home at the weekend, my daughter, who is in her early 30s, so a classic millennial, and I told her I was having this event, and she went, oh, Dad, no, not you, no, this is a bad idea. And I said, why is this a bad idea? You'll get it wrong, you don't know the right language, you know, you're a dinosaur, you have no way you can participate in this conference. And I looked at her mother and I said, what is this, you know? And I was reflecting on it, I thought, well, is this how every person of the millennial generation looks at their parents or the generation ahead of them as it relates to this subject? And I thought, probably. Yeah, it was a bit my conclusion. And then I kind of reflected a bit back on my own upbringing. I am Scottish, so I have no interest in the World Cup. Not for a long time, actually. But I was brought up in central Scotland in the industrial belt of that part of the country. And it was a fairly kind of tough environment in many ways. And I was thinking about it and thinking of the humour and the school and whatever. And discrimination against everyone was part of conversation. So central Scotland, you're either Catholic or Protestant or whatever. So I was Protestant, all the Catholics are bad. All the gay people are bad, all the black people are bad, that was the nature of 1960s central Scotland. And then, so, okay, you go away with that in your background. And then I moved to London and I worked down there and I was in the East End of London and I played a lot of football. And then our football team, we had no idea what religion people were, that wasn't relevant in the East End of London. But we had coloured people, we had gay people and so on. And none of that was present. Why? Because there was actually, these people were part of your community. They were friends, you were relationships, and so it wasn't present. So then I reflected back to Scotland. I thought, no wonder it was easy to have these comments, these views in the playground, because there was no black person in Scotland. So people were throwing around views and commentary, but it didn't mean anything because they didn't actually know anyone who was black, because there was nobody black in central Scotland in the 1960s. And it really didn't matter what you said about the other religion, because everybody in your school playground was your religion, because that's the way the schools were set up. So you weren't actually insulting anyone. But as I thought about it, I thought, there were people who must have been gay, by definition. And so the link was the fact that in some ways, all this schoolboy chatter, which you were brought up with, was kind of meaningless for some of these other groups because they weren't actually there and present. So it was just what people thought was smart to do. But this type of community was present. And obviously that would have impacted them and their upbringing. So in a sense, what I think is so important, and it's the one thing that came away from today, the notion of getting people out is so critical. If there's one thing that message for me personally from this event, it was, if you can get people out, you can get them visibly in the organization, you can get the power of networks, you can get the energy that comes from people, and then it's a little bit like my experience in London. When they were all members of the same football team and you were mates, you were pals, it didn't matter because you were all there, you were all visible, you were all working together. So, you know, as an HR professional, we do a lot of work on policies and processes, but for me, if I take one thing away from today, it would be that element. How, as a corporation, do you create an environment where people feel free, willing, and really want to visibly express who they are as a person and feel confident to do it, and as a consequence of that, can connect with people who are similarly minded and equally connect people who are not. And then you create the atmosphere that actually creates the type of environment we want for companies. You've contributed a lot to my thinking. Thank you for that. And I hope you've all had a great day. And from Shell, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Thank you.